and a good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you, the good people of Tube. Hope you're today, hope you're feeling grand and all spread your world. I certainly am. I have this pedal to show you today, which I am over the moon with. This is a Joom. It's for Joom. Get to the Joom. Anyway, moving on. This is the Joom. I did it again. I can't talk. This is the Zoom G5n. That's where the G was coming from. Goom. It's for Goom. The Goom G5n. So yeah, this is the Zoom. Forget it. Just forget it. It's this pedal here. So I am in love with this pedal. It's amazing. I really, really love it. It sounds brilliant. It feels brilliant to play through it. Things respond the way you want it to respond. It's just mega. But, and there are some negatives to it, which I will talk about in a minute. And the negatives there are with it are a little frustrating. Not enough to make me go, I'll forget it, because I don't. This thing is fantastic. It really is awesome. Give me a gig, can't at this point in time. I would go with this and an amp and a guitar, and I'd be happy. I wouldn't need anything else but this and an amp, and obviously a guitar. I am very happy to use this at a gig as it is. You know what I mean? No external effects or anything like that. I just love it. It's absolutely incredible. It's so good. So, like I say, but there are negatives which I'll get to in a sec. So, the way to program this thing is simple as anything. I'll show you in a sec how easy it is to just kind of like get effects in and just go with it. It's so easy. The way it sounds is amazing. Everything is perfect. There's no option paralysis with this thing at all. There's 3 wah-wah pedals in it. There's like 2 choruses, both of which are amazing. The 3 wah-wah pedals are amazing as well, and I'll get to my favourite wah in a minute. I'll tell you why. There's also, there's like 2 phasers, there's like 2 flanges, there's like a univibe, there's a pedal univibe, so you can control the rate of a univibe using the expression pedal, which is just incredible. You've got so much stuff. You've got a looper, you've got a drum machine. There is everything you need in this pedal, but there's not enough to give you option paralysis. There's just, I would honestly say, there is just the perfect amount of effects in this to keep you happy. You'll never want for anything. You know what I mean? It's in here. It really is. There is so much in here that you won't, you don't need any other effects. It's all in this thing. You know what I mean? You got amazing wah wah pedals. You've got amazing distortions, overdrives, boosters. Delays, reverbs. You got cab sims and amp models and all that kind of thing. That is perfect for me. From my perspective, the amount of effects they've got in this thing is perfect. There's not enough to give you option paralysis, but there's not enough to make you feel like you want more, if that makes any sense. It's just perfect. And the way these effects respond to each other and react with each other and sound in general is incredible. They sound so good, and they're so easy to get the sound you want out of them. Like to get a delay sound you want out of it, it takes like 5 seconds. To get a chorus sound you want, it takes 5 seconds. To get distortion, 5 seconds. It's just crazy. It's so quick and easy. It's so quick and easy. And like I said, I'll show you in a sec. I'll just set something up really randomly and just show you. So yeah, this is absolutely amazing. So what I thought I'd do today is basically just kind of like show you my presets. I've got 4 presets at this point in time. You heard preset 2 at the beginning in intro jam. That's kind of like my looper kind of soundscapey loop setting is preset 2. So if I go to that preset really quick, I'll tell you what I've got. Actually, come here and I will show you. Okay, so Actually, I need to change the thing on the camera. One sec. Okay, so this is the lineup of effects I had on the intro jam. So I had a wah-wah pedal, a fuzz pedal, a vibrato, a tape echo. That's the drums. That's the drums you heard. That's the looper. That's the amp head I use pretty much all the time, which is a Marshall Plexi MS1959. It's a Marshall Plexi basically. And then I've got a Hall reverb. And these were the settings of. This is basically what I had on the intro jam. Which brings me to my negative of this pedal. And my major negative of this pedal is this. These scroll buttons here. So, because I've got all these effects here, I can only ever have 4 on these screens at a time. Even though I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Even though I've got 8 things on the screen there, I can only ever have 4 on here at a time that I can actually access. So what you have to do, basically, you have to kind of like be kind of, what's the word? Kind of strategic, if you will, of how you set out the effects. But this scroll function, to me, doesn't work. I don't like this at all. I would much rather Zoom did away with this scroll function and just had another 4 foot switches. This scroll function is a nightmare to navigate. It's easy to do, but in the heat of a moment, if you will, it's a nightmare. So for instance, like this, right? So this is what I had to do on the intro jam. So I set my drums going and I did my loop and I had my vibrato and my tape echo on to do the rhythm of the loop. Excuse me. So once I had the loop going, I had to then press scroll button to get to my fuzz pedal to get to solo over it, which doesn't seem like a major issue. But if you watch this is one of my problems. If you watch the scroll button, let me just press that so you can see. When I hit the scroll button, there's a split second where it takes time to cycle over to the left side. There, yeah, you can see. So until that loads, I can't access this fuzz pedal. So if I'm over here and I've set my loop going, and I press the scroll, there is a split second. I can't do that because it doesn't engage. I have to wait for it, and that to me is hugely lets this pedal down, because you can only ever really have 4 effects on preset 1. If I go to my preset 1, that's fine, because I only ever really access these 4 pedals. So I only ever access like a tube screamer, a distortion, an echo, and a chorus. The other 3 effects, like my wah pedal, which you can engage manually by the expression pedal anyway, the amp head and the Hall reverb, they'll be on all the time. So on preset 1, this is kind of like a setting I would use. If I was to go out gigging, this is the setting I would use. If I was on this setting, that's fine. But that's only fine because I'll only ever be using 4 effects. If I go back to preset 1, if I wanted to add, like, say, a univibe into this now, say I wanted to add a univibe into this thing, it's like, for instance, like univibe was over here, so it's on the left side of a tube screamer. To engage it, I would have to press the scroll button, wait a second, and then turn it on. And that to me isn't really good enough. That's not really practical at all. And I don't like that gap when you hit the scrolls. I mean, you've got to be strategic. You can only ever really use 4 effects, which again is fine if you only ever use 4 effects, or 5 effects if you class the expression pedal actually. Which, yeah, so you can only really use 5 effects. My other problem with this is an overload. It says you can run up to 9 effects, but you can't. So, for instance, like, if I go over here now, if I want to add another pedal to my presets, and this is how easy it is to add a pedal, though, by the way. This is a positive. So all I've done is let me just delete that a sec. So this is my pedal board as it stands. So what I do is I press menu, and then all I do is scroll over to add which is there. Click add by pressing in the push to enter button, and then click it again. Then all of a sudden we have a blank space. But here lies a problem. Okay, so at this point in time, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 effects, and Zoom say you can run up to 9 effects. But unfortunately, that isn't true. So now, for instance, like say, oh, I want a univibe. So there's a looper, there's the drums, reverb, delay, special effects, modulation. This is what happens. Process overflow, change effect. Chorus, process overflow. Stereo chorus, can't. Oh, there's the univibe. I can't have it because the pedal there's too much going on. So this preset, as it stands at this point in time, I can no longer add anything else to it. So that's just the way it is. It's it's just like that's it. It's game over there. So this is what I'm left with basically, which is fine by me, but that is frustrating. It's like, oh, because I got all excited with it, and I was like, oh, I'm going to program this, I'm going to put this in, I'm going to have this effect, and then I realised that it overloads really easily. I mean, technically, the Marshall is classed as 2 effects. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 effects. That's still not 9. I should technically still be able to, according to Zoom, should technically be allowed to add 1 more, but I can't. But so that's my other pet peeve. So the scroll function is stupid, I think, and needs to be done away with. And also the overload thing, that's not cool, because it's just silly. I just don't understand why that, why say you can have up to 9 effects running if you're just going to overload it. You shouldn't have to. Overloading something like this should never come into it, in my opinion. But be that for what it may. So let me just quickly show you this, though. Check this out, right? This is how easy it is to program. Like I say, when you set up a new preset, this is what you've got. You've got basically nothing. So say, for instance, you want an amp model. So all you do is scroll through until you find amp. Okay? So then it gives you, say, a Marshall 800 there. And all you need to do to change that is just press these buttons on the top. So you can change it to the Marshall 1959, which is my favourite. Another Marshall, Fender. You can get, it's that easy just to pick. So say, for instance, we just pick, whatever, the Fender Deluxe. So now I want to add in a pedal, right? Okay, so let's add a distortion pedal. So again, what I do is I press one of these buttons down, this type button down. Oh, and hang on a minute. Let me just go back to nothing. So what I do is I press one of these buttons down and I use the other one to scroll. So, keep going. Oh, there we go. Back. So now drive. So tube screamer drive, and then all I need to do is and that's it. And then if I find the tube screamer doesn't sound very good on that side of the amp, all I need to do is press menu, go to chain, click on the chain, and then just move it to the other side, and away you go. It's that simple. And again, away you go. It's so easy and simple to work. But yeah, I've got to say, like I say though, this scroll function is stupid in my opinion. It floors the pedal. It really, really hinders the pedal. It would have been much better to have 2 bank buttons, say up here, like this, out the way, so you can scroll through your banks easily, and then just have another 4 foot switches, because then you can have up to 8 effects on simultaneously. If you could have 8 effects if you could have up to 8 effects simultaneously and an expression pedal, then that would make this pedal perfect. So that's the negatives: scroll and the overload, and also the master level is supremely finicky. I'm just going to leave it at 12 o'clock today. I would never really recommend putting it above 12 o'clock. It just ends up distorting everything and fizzing everything out. If you leave a master level at 12 o'clock, it sounds really good. And if you lower it, it sounds good. If you boost it above 12 o'clock, which is Unity, Zoom say in the manual that 12 o'clock is basically 0. if you boost that master level above 12 o'clock, it starts to sound fizzy. And it starts to make things trebly and not very pleasant. So always keep at 12 o'clock. Other than that, other than those negatives, would I recommend this pedal? Yes. That aside, I would still recommend this pedal because I love it. It sounds fantastic. It's just unreal. Unreal. So that's enough talking. Let me show you some sound examples. So I'm gonna show you preset 1 first. This is my first preset, which has a tube screamer, a distortion, a tape echo, a chorus, a wah-wah pedal, the Marshall Plexi simulation head, which is my clean-ish tone, which you'll hear first, and a hall reverb. And also, somebody mentioned in the unboxing video, the wah 100 model inside the Zoom G5 is a model of the Ibanez wah, and said, does it sound good? Oh yes, it sounds like the Ibanez wah, and it responds like the Ibanez wah. This is the best simulation of the Ibanez wah I've ever heard in this pedal, and you'll hear that now. So let's make some noise. Okay, so that was preset 1. So basically what you heard there is like, started off like a clean, basically the Marshall Plexi sound. Basically John Frusciante's clean tone. Sounds it's such a nice clean tone. I can't play it because I'll peek the camera. But it's such a nice clean tone. Cleanish tone. It's not actually that clean. It sounds clean, but it's not. It's very, what's the word? It's kind of like, it's clean. It's distortion in disguise. Distortion in disguise. Anyway. And then you heard like a tube screamer kind of thing for the kind of like, the Steve Ray Vaughan bit. And then I kind of had like I both had like a distortion and like a tube screamer on. And then you heard the Ibanez wah simulation, the wah 100. That thing sounds unreal. I love that thing. And then at the end there's chorus and delay as well. And the tape echo in this thing is absolutely gorgeous. And I've never really liked to use tape echo, but it's very, very nice. So I'm going to move on to preset 2 now, which is basically my soundscape loop setting, but I'm not going to do a loop. I'm just going to play with the effects I've got in now. So there's like a fuzz, there's the wah 100 again, but I'm not going to use it this time. I'm just going to do some like nice cleany stuff because I've got a reverb on there. I've got a whole reverb which is maxed out. So the whole reverb is everything's on 100 basically. Then I've got a vibrato on there which is absolutely stunning. I've never used vibrato before, but now I am, and I love this vibrato sound in this pedal. And also got a tape echo in there as well. I probably won't use the fuzz, I'll just leave it clean. So, let's go to preset 2, let you hear that. Okay, so that's preset 2. I was going to say I could play on that for hours, but I have played on that setting for hours. And it's basically a copy. On the unboxing video, I found there was a preset called Dreamland or something like that. It's just copied. I just copied it. It's a preset, technically. That's technically Zoom's preset. I just changed a few things about it. I put it over top of the Marshall. instead of kind of like it wasn't over the top of an amp, and it was a little bit dark, so I just put it over the top of the Marshall Plexi kind of emulation, and it just sparkly. It's just glorious, absolutely glorious. So that's preset 2, and again, I have played that setting for hours. I've got a song that I'm working on that comes from that sound. It was in the intro. It was on the first video, the unboxing vid actually. It came out just straight away. So the next setting I'm going to go to is a preset I've called Rory, and I bet you can't guess who this is modelled after. So the idea behind this one was to go for, I've always loved Rory's tone at the Isle of Wight festival. For songs like, you know, What's Going On and Sugar Mama and, Gambling Blues and stuff like that. They did with taste. And also Rory's kind of like first solo album and stuff like that. I love that sound of that AC30 with his Strat with a treble booster. So, what I did yesterday, and again it took me like no time at all, is I programmed in the AC30 amp model on the Zoom, and I programmed in a treble booster. And that's basically it for this setup. And let me know. I can't play any Rory, which is extremely irritating, but I'm going to try and channel him and try and play something in the vein of. And I might end up kind of quoting a few little songs here and there. I might be able to get away with playing Sugar Mama just because it's traditional song. It's just 12 bar. But yeah. Anyway, this is just the AC30 model in the Zoom with a treble booster on top of it. See what you reckon. Let me know what you think. See, let me because as I say, this isn't 100% yet. I'm still messing with this one, but I think it sounds kind of close to Rory. Let me know what you think. Okay, so that was me attempting not to play Rory Gallagher songs, but playing the style of. That sounds really close, I feel. It's not quite, you know what I mean? There's still a little bit of fine tuning to be done, but it's got the right amount of kind of. It's got the kind of right amount of kind of gain and tone of and thing of Rory's. It's close. It's not close enough, but it's close, if you know what I mean. Especially when you kind of do the pinch harmonic thing. You know, it kind of responds in the way you hear Rory's amps respond. And I say, all that is the AC30 amp model and a treble booster in the Zoom. There's nothing else. Oh, by the way, I didn't even mention, because I'm stupid, we're going through the Marshall MG today, by the way, but it's just over here. It's a half stack. We're going through the Marshall MG, going through OD1. Gain is basically at 0.5. It's not even at 1. It's like between off and 1. It's kind of halfway between the two. No bass. Middle is at 7. No treble, no contour. Volume is all the way up on 10. And that's it. That's the lot. And master volume is at 1. So yeah, that's that. The last preset I'm going to show you today, before I'm going to quickly plug in the Revelation RTL and also the Heartwood as well. Let you hear the Heartwood through it, and just because I haven't played these through it yet, and I really want to hear what they sound like. So the last preset you're going to hear before I just kind of mess around is basically my John Frusciante setting. I've called it John, and basically what I was going for here is basically John's 1999 kind of guitar sound, because that's my favourite era of John, the Californication tour. So that's basically what you're going to hear next. And what I've got in there is I've got the Marshall Plexi is kind of like, you know, the amp. I've got a reverb which won't be on. The reverb's there just in case I fancy it, but it's not actually going to be on because John didn't use reverb. And then I've got the Wah 100, the Ibanez Wah. I've got a fuzz pedal, and I've got a distortion pedal, and I've also got a chorus and a delay. And again, a delay won't be used either. So let me show you that. this would be a lot more fun if I could play other people's songs. Just give it hope, but hopefully you can kind of hear the idea of what I'm kind of going for. That wah-wah pedal is evil. Absolutely evil sounding wah-wah pedal. It sounds amazing. It sounds like the Ibanez wah to me. You know, it really does. And the really cool thing is you can tweak its parameters as well. It's not just kind of like you program it and that's all you get. You can actually make it more mild or stronger or weaker if you want. It's totally customizable. It's so cool. And it sounds glorious. The fuzz pedal and the distortion together sound ridiculous. They just sound heavenly. They just sound really warm and smooth, and there's a lot of definition. I added the whole reverb there for the kind of like the Chevy, the soul one. But that's technically something I would only. If I'm being perfectly honest, I don't really like to use pedal reverb as much as I like to use the amps reverb. I just find it's cleaner and it sounds a little bit, you know, I don't know, just a little bit, cleaner sounding, so to say. So that's all the presets I've got at this point in time. I have others planned. I have like a Peter Green one planned using a Fender amp. Or there's an orange amp in there as well. I don't know which one I'm going to use. I'm more leaning towards using a Fender for Peter. I don't know. Then I also want to do like a Jimi Hendrix one with like a Univibe. I want to do like a Paul Kossoff one. I want to do kind of like, you know, some others here and there as well. So I have these presets and that'll be like, you know, future videos because this thing's going nowhere. I love it to bits. And I was playing on it, the other day I was playing on it literally pretty much all day. And I was playing music. I wasn't just kind of noodling around with it. I was playing songs and I was just coming up with ideas and stuff like this. And I was playing around with different sounds for different songs, which is what I want to be doing. And it was just so much fun. I've had more fun with this than I ever had with the Helix. Anyway, I'm going to switch to the RTL59 now, and then I'll switch to the Heartwood, and just basically go back to preset 1, and just basically noodle about and let you hear it with humbuckers as well on 2 different guitars. Because, we used to tell you in the intro. So yeah, I'll just switch over to those 2 quick and let you hear them 2, and then that'll be that, everybody. So let's go back to preset 1 with humbuckers. I haven't heard this yet, so I'm really looking forward to this. Okay, people, tune video. I switched over quickly on the Heartwood to the Rory Gallagher setting, the AC30 sound at the end. I thought that sounded rather cool. It was really gnarly and in your face, but really, really cool. But yeah, so that's the first time I plugged humbuckers through it. And that sounded great. The Les Paul on the preset one with the Tube Screamer and the Dyna Drive, which is what I've got. The distortion I'm using is Dynamic Drive. That sounded to me loads like Gary Moore. It had that really singing. It wasn't quite as cutting as Gary. Gary's tone was really kind of quite cutting, but smooth and warm at the same time. But it reminded me of Gary Moore's tone in a way. But and that's not a bad thing. And then just the Tube Screamer on its own was a bit more Peter Greeny. Anyway, people of Tube, let me know what you think in the comment section below to these sounds. Like I said, I am in love with this pedal. I really do love it. Negatives aside, stupid scroll buttons, stupid overload, I don't get that whatsoever. That is a drawback. That is a hindrance to this pedal. That is the major negative about this pedal. But I would still recommend it. I would still recommend it because it sounds so good. It feels great. Everything works the way it should work. It's so easy to program. It's so easy to use. It's just wicked. It's just wicked. I love it to bits. You can run stereo out of this thing as well. The headphone out. I have never tried a headphone out on anything. I don't use I hate headphones. They make me feel weird. I just can't wear headphones. I've got a weird thing about my ears. Anyway, I can't wear headphones, and that's why when I record, I always like to record DI so I don't have to wear headphones. I tried headphones on this the first night I got it, just to see. Because loads of people have been saying, what's it like in the headphones? I never try it, so I can never say. I'm impressed. It doesn't sound as good as it sounds through an amplifier, obviously. But good gravy, does it still sound good through headphones? But again, I don't like wearing headphones. It freaks me out. Bothers me. But, yeah, it worked. The headphone socket works. Like I say, you can run in stereo. What's that? You got another control here. You can have another expression pedal as well. So you can assign another expression pedal. USB out. You get a free copy of Cubase. A full copy of Cubase with this thing. I mean, that is unreal. I mean, I need to download that, actually. I need to decide which computer I'm going to download that on. Because it's worth having. You know, you get... I remember when I got my Zoom G2.1U for the first time, and like I said in the unboxing video, I got a free copy of Cubase with that, and I immediately installed it on my laptop. Actually, that's a lie, because I didn't have a laptop at that time. I got my first Zoom in 2005, and I didn't get my first laptop until 2007. And then I installed it, and I spent hours recording on that thing. I have tons and tons of songs and ideas and bits and pieces recorded from my Cubase days, and I'm going to get it again. I'm going to get it downloaded on one of my laptops, all of which are horrifically out of date, but I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, but yeah, the Zoom G5n is a fantastic pedal, but Zoom, please get rid of the scroll function. Please get rid of the overload thing. That's stupid. This is stupid. Add another 4-foot switches. Make it so you can't overload it, so you can actually have up to 9 effects. And just get rid of that. Just throw that away. Get rid of that stupid overload thing, and this is the perfect multi-effects unit. This is because the way it sounds, the way it responds, the way it feels, the ease of programming, the quality of sound is unreal. Is unreal. I'm actually going to do a shootout soon between this and the Line 6 HX. I'm not adding a Helix in there because I don't want to do anything with that until I have to. But I'm going to do a shootout between this and the HX, because at this point in time, the HX, they both sound amazing, and there's pros and cons to each, but the switching capability of the HX beats this hands down. But the price of this is less than the HX. And in a way, I prefer the sound of this to the HX, but I'm saying that at this point in time, I haven't heard them back to back. So I will do a shootout at some point soon between this and the HX and see which one I prefer, and also see which one you prefer as well. Like, for instance, we'll go through kind of like, you know, a clean kind of sound, a tube screamer kind of sound, a distortion sound, a chorus sound, stuff like that. And we'll just do them back to back and then see which one, you know, we prefer at the end of it. So yeah, but anyway, I highly recommend this pedal. It's really cool. Drawbacks and negatives aside, this pedal is wicked. And if you're a Zoom fanatic like I am, I've always loved Zoom pedals. This is... Oh, another thing. This is really minor, but I want to bring it up really quick. On the Helix, going back to the Helix, and on some other multi-effects units, the expression pedal doesn't sit like a wah-wah pedal would, or an expression pedal would. Wah-wah pedals and expression pedals, when they're toe down, are flat. On some multi-effects units, when they're toe down, you're still at this angle. So heel down is like that, toe down's like that, and that to me is, for one thing I hate it, and it feels really bad for my foot. And I think it is bad for your foot, personally. I think having your leg at this angle, like that, is really bad for your foot. Toe down, to me, should always be flat. Because that's just the way pedals work. So, on the Helix, I was always hesitant to use the wah-wah pedal just because of the angle of the expression pedal. It really, after a couple of seconds of being on it, I could feel kind of like my ankle being strained because of the angle of it. It's why I always recommend too, is like, if you've got a pedal board that angles like this, say you've got like a pedal board, and the pedal board angles like this, always have your wah-wah pedal off on the floor, because you don't want it at that angle. It's bad for your ankle. It's really bad for your ankle. I can't think that position is comfortable at all. And it also puts it really high. So if you're a heavy user of a wah-wah pedal, never really have it at an angle. You want it flat on the floor, so toe down is flat. And one of the major things of me when I look for a multi-effects unit with a expression pedal is that ability to have it flat. And I've never found it. I used to have a Boss multi-effects guitar thing, and that came close, but it was still, toe down was still like this. It was never flat. Whereas this, and I know it's a small thing, but let me show you. It's really built up on this edge. So you can see, if I catch it in the light, this end is really built up, so that's heel down. Toe down is perfectly flat. And that, honestly, makes all the difference when using the expression pedal to me, and I would expect quite a few others as well, to be perfectly honest. It makes a lot of difference. It really does make a lot of difference. It's more comfortable. It really is more comfy. It just feels like a wah-wah pedal. You know what I mean? It feels like a Crybaby or my Box Silvertop or the Ibanez Wah. It really does feel like it. It's just incredible. Another thing I've got to mention quickly as well before I go is the build quality of this thing. This thing feels sturdy and built to last. You know what I mean? It really does. We will see, because I'm not getting rid of this. But honestly, this is one of those pedals, if it broke, I would buy another. It's like the G2. If it broke, I would buy another. The MGs. If it broke, I would buy another. You know what I mean? It's one of those pedals. And I'm only just scratching the surface of it. I'm only learning now of how to work it. It didn't take a lot, to be honest with you, to learn. But there's still things I'm discovering about it. But they're all fun. Nothing's ever a chore with it. Anyway, that's far too much talking. I hope you enjoyed this video a bit. I hope you enjoyed the noises this thing made. Great English. And yeah, like I say, the Zoom G5n, I highly recommend this. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. But it does have downsides, so bear that in mind before you do. If you go for one of these, bear that in mind. The overload stupidity and the scroll stupidity, because that is stupid. That is stupid. It really lets this pedal down. And it doesn't need to be there. It's totally stupid. Zoom have shot themselves in the foot a little bit. They haven't blown their foot off, but they have still shot themselves in the foot in a bit, in my opinion, with this scroll function and the overload thing, which I just don't. If you say your product can have up to 9 effects running, make sure it can, not just 4 and it's overloaded, because certain effects in this will take up more power than the pedal can hack. So, for instance, like if you have like a particle verb, which is one of my favourite effects, particle verb, chorus, and an overdrive, that's probably all you'll get on a bank. Stupid. Absolutely stupid. I don't know if it's a cost-cutting thing that, you know, they can't, the price would have to go up if it was overloaded. Because it's overloaded, because of the overload, they're keeping the cost down, if that makes any sense. In all fairness, I would prefer to pay more to have that go away and to have these scroll buttons go away and have it as the way it sounds, because it sounds fantastic. But that scroll function and that overload function, they almost ruin it. Not quite, but they definitely limit it, and they made me start to question it. Not enough because I still love it, but it is something you've got to take into consideration when buying one of these. Is it worth it? Yes. But bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. Because it can be That could make or break it for you. So just bear that in mind before you buy one of these things, because that for me is borderline. It borderlines between I can't get over it and I'm fine with it. You know what I mean? It's literally between the two. Like, there are times where I'm like, I want to add another effect, but I can't. And I want to get to this effect easier, and I can't. And that is when I'm like, you know what I mean? So bear that in mind before you do pull the trigger on one of these things, so to say. So anyway, other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the noises this thing's made. I certainly have. I've loved it. And yeah, I do recommend it. I really do. Flaws aside, I really recommend it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, good evening. I'll see you on Wednesday for Q&A. And until then, have a great one. Goodbye now.